Hello, this is Jack from tofluency.com, and today we're going to have a conversation in English about food.
One of my favorite topics.
Yeah, one of Kate's favourite topics. So the idea behind these conversations is to give you exposure to real English, but then also to teach you some phrases at the same time. So we'll teach you a little bit of the vocabulary and phrases that we use in the video, but to really learn them, go to the description and then go over to the website where I'm going to leave a list of key phrases from this lesson. So you'll be able to go through it, read it, see the examples, get an explanation, etc. So today you're going to learn a lot about food. And we're going to approach this by talking about traditional meals and food in general from the UK, the United States and Spain. Because I'm from the UK.
I'm from the US.
We live in America and we have lived in Spain. Now, let's make this very relevant to what we're doing, because tonight we're going to have some friends over for dinner. And you had some questions for me.
Yes. So, as is pretty common, at least where we live, people have different dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's certain things that they eat or certain things that they don't eat. The friends that we're having over for dinner tonight, one of them only eats chicken and seafood.
Well, a better way to say that is, sorry, just in my head, she only eats chicken. Like, that's it. And seafood.
Okay, let me rephrase that and let me see if this is what you're thinking about. She doesn't eat red meat.
Yeah.
Or pork.
Right. Is pork red meat?
I think that pork is technically white meat.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, so that's a restriction, and that's a really good example where somebody doesn't eat red meat. Now, what are some of the common restrictions here in Asheville?
Sure. So a lot of people are gluten-free. So they don't eat wheat or wheat products that have gluten in it.
Yeah. Like bread's an obvious. No bread, no pasta.
Yep.
No. A lot of like pastries.
And some people have a condition called celiacs that prevents them. They have really severe reactions to gluten. And other people, it's more of a preference. Some people are dairy-free, so they don't eat dairy products. People can also be vegan, so they don't eat any animal products. And just a variety of different things. So basically, we are trying to think.
This is our
debate.
task.
So we're trying to see. So our friend eats chicken for sure. So I was trying to think of a chicken-based dish that would be a little bit more exciting. So trying to think, would we want chicken that was stuffed with like spinach and cheese? Or chicken in a rich sauce, or just like roasted with vegetables and like a glaze on top. So that's what we're trying to decide between.
There's a lot of new vocabulary there.
I know.
Like to stuff chicken, which means to put something inside it. So another example of that is stuffed pepper.
Yeah.
Where you get a pepper and normally cheese or rice, maybe?
Cheese, rice, breadcrumbs. So you can also do that with mushrooms.
Yeah. And then a glaze. How would you describe that?
A glaze is like kind of a rich, thick sauce.
Yeah. And you brush it on.
Like
brush
so.
on a glaze.
Brush on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to, and you said a dish as well. So like a dish is part of a meal, isn't it? Or the main dish. There are so many words and phrases when it comes to cooking and food.
Yes.
And we learned that while living in Spain. there's so much to learn in this. So hopefully this lesson is going to help you with that.
Yeah.
So we are cooking a meal tonight. There's the main dish and then side dishes too.
Yes.
So what are we going to do for sides?
For side dishes. So it depends on which main dish we choose.
Right.
So if we have, for example, a chicken that's roasted with vegetables, that can kind of be part of our side dishes. If not, we're probably going to want to do like vegetables, salad,
Potatoes. Yeah.
for example.
Maybe mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes are delicious.
Yeah.
But they're most delicious when they're the least healthy.
Or
More butter is more delicious with mashed potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And many things.
Yeah. And we're not going to talk too much about what's healthy and what's not.
No.
We're just going to have a good talk about traditional meals.
Yes.
Let's start with breakfast.
Okay.
What is something that people have for breakfast in the UK? Do you remember? Or do you know this?
So what immediately comes to mind is the famous full English breakfast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be the traditional one. So you would have beans,
Yep.
toast,
Mm-hmm.
a specific kind of bacon,
Yep.
roasted tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and eggs.
Yep.
Is that everything?
More or less.
Yeah.
You can also have things like, what's it called again?
Roasted
Black pudding.
mushrooms.
Which is like blood sausage.
Oh.
I love them. Or mushrooms. Yeah. What is a light version of that I used to have most mornings?
Beans and toast.
Yeah, beans on toast.
Beans on toast.
Now, there's a debate about beans on toast. Now, what we're talking about here is toast with butter on, normally, and then baked beans.
Yes.
And in America, you don't really do that style.
Not
Normally,
really.
you put pork in there. But they're a little bit different. So just baked beans in a tomato sauce. Now, there's a debate here.
Go on.
When you make beans on toast, right, and the preposition is on toast.
Okay.
But you put your toast here on your plate, and then people either put the beans right on top or on the side.
Oh.
Which would you do?
Side.
Yeah, me too.
100%. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I like it when different flavors kind of come together and intermingle. But to me, the integrity of the toast, the toast not being soggy.
Soggy. That's a good word.
Yeah. You don't want it to be soggy. You want it to be crunchy and dry.
And soggy means wet in this example.
Yeah. Wet and mushy.
Mushy. Yeah. It loses its texture. Yeah, so beans on one side of the plate, toast on the other. Try not to touch.
Yeah.
And then take your toast, usually with your fingers, your hands. Put the right amount of beans on for that bite and then take a bite.
For that bite, yeah. I do like choosing the perfect bite, no matter what I'm eating, like the perfect amount of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other things British people have in the morning, cereal. Toast, just toast. Go on.
Marmite.
Marmite. Let's move on. I hate it.
You do?
Well, yeah, so they brand it as either you love it or hate it. So they actually know this, and then they make commercials based on this. So they'll take a situation and say you either love it or hate it, like Marmite.
Like Marmite.
You like it, don't you?
I like it in, like, I wouldn't even say in moderation. I would say I like it a tiny bit of it.
Yeah.
Almost not enough to really taste it. Like sometimes I feel that way about really strong cheese too.
Oh, I love strong cheese.
Yeah, I do too. In moderation. I don't like to have like a big bite of it. I like to have a little bit of it with other things.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit like a strong sauce or a spicy sauce at the same time.
Like hot sauce.
Hot sauce or horseradish. What is a typical American breakfast?
So we have many of the same breakfast foods. Beans are not very popular as a breakfast food at all. I'm
No.
not sure if
At barbecue
anybody has it.
restaurants,
Yeah.
that's a very popular side dish. But not.
But not a breakfast
No.
food. So we tend to have. It's hard to think about exactly what's the most traditional. But
It
we
is.
often have baked foods. So pancakes, waffles, muffins.
You have dessert for breakfast. That's what I want to say. You have dessert for breakfast.
Okay.
All this maple syrup
Yes.
all over it. Like blueberry muffins.
Yes.
Or a pancake with lots of maple syrup. We have pancakes one day a year.
On Pancake Day?
On Pancake Day. That's when we have pancakes. But yeah, it amazes me.
Yeah.
Like you'll have donuts for breakfast. And when I'm saying you, this is like a general.
Americans. Yeah.
It astonishes me.
Yeah. Donuts, to me, are kind of the ideal breakfast food.
They're the worst.
So good.
I've never liked donuts.
Really?
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I used to have one and enjoy it. But for me, I just don't like donuts.
So there's two different kind of styles of donuts.
Right.
Okay, so you have your donut, and it, to me, it's either going to be kind of flaky and cakey and frosted, so it kind of like melts in your mouth, or it's going to be what I think of as the more traditional kind of cider donuts. So they're a little bit thicker and more fried kind of tasting and chewy. I have a preference, a clear favorite. I like the traditional, like, thick cider donuts, especially with fresh pressed apple cider, more than the glazed kind. You don't like donuts at all, but if you had to choose, which would you prefer?
Probably the cider ones.
Good
No
choice.
idea what they taste like.
Really?
Well, no.
Okay. I'm going to take you to a cider orchard, and you're going to try it.
Oh, I've had those.
Yeah.
When we went to the cider orchard.
Yeah.
This is where they grow apples. And just a little thing about cider. So if you say cider in the UK, it means alcoholic.
Yes.
But you say hard cider.
Yeah. We would say hard cider. And it's not, I don't think it's as popular
No.
as
It's getting more
fresh
popular.
cider.
So, but for me, my perfect breakfast is bacon and eggs. What for you? Chocolate?
You know what?
And
when
coffee?
yeah. I do like chocolate and coffee. That's usually like I need a little bit of fuel to get me going. A little bit of caffeination. But I like either fresh fruit.
Yeah.
Or I like pancakes, specifically buttermilk pancakes, with some syrup and
You say
maybe bacon.
buttermilk. I don't really know what a
Buttermilk is?
Yeah.
Okay. So buttermilk it's milk that's kind of like a little bit, it's
Creamier.
more like, it's creamier, it's a little bit more sour. It's like almost like yogurt or sour cream. It's kind of like halfway to yogurt or sour cream. It's a little thicker.
I think it's a important thing to say as well that when my mum comes to visit, she can't understand menus here.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what things are. So if you feel overwhelmed by this language, know that you're not alone.
No.
And that a native English speaker can come to America and just get really confused. And I was at first as well.
Yeah.
I was at first.
One thing to say about the United States and about our cuisine, our language, a lot of different things is that we are in many ways a melting pot. So
Explain that.
So people come from different countries and different cultures, and, you know, people come and they become American. And at the same time, they bring a little bit of their culture, and it all kind of blends together.
Yeah.
So in a town, you know, in a small city or a large town, you'll probably be able to get Japanese sushi. You'll be able to get Mexican food. You'll be able to get Indian food, Chinese food. And all of those different cuisines, different styles of cooking, come with their own vocabulary.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. And then just certain things are different.
Yeah.
Like fries, chips. You know, I made a lesson on this.
Yes.
I'll leave it in the description. I feel where things overlap the most are at lunchtime.
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches. That's we don't really eat sandwiches.
Really?
When was the last time you had a sandwich?
Oh, like we eat them together?
For lunch.
Yeah, we haven't had sandwiches in a while.
Yeah. Because we don't really eat bread, so that's probably the reason why.
Yeah, bread is kind of essential to make a sandwich. Yeah.
But at school, I used to always have a sandwich. My favourites were, we can talk about favourite types of sandwiches.
Ooh, yeah.
Lancashire cheese and sour cream.
Yes, we have neither Lancashire cheese nor would we think of putting salad cream. Salad cream is a British thing. It's like a sweet mayonnaise.
Yeah.
We don't have it.
No. But you can find it. So that's like Lancashire cheese
really
and sour
find
cream.
Like you have to go out of your way to find it a little bit. True.
Lancashire cheese and sour cream or tuna and sour cream sandwiches. Those were the two main ones I had. But most people have like sliced turkey or sliced ham, sliced chicken.
Yeah. We say deli meat.
Deli meat. See, there's so many differences. We wouldn't say deli meat.
No.
And then the best sandwich, I think, is a BLT.
Yes.
Bacon,
BLTs are good.
lettuce, tomato, with avocado or without for you?
Oh, always avocado.
Yeah, with.
Yeah.
The cream, the creaminess of it in addition to everything else.
Delicious.
Yeah. It's the best sandwich. Other lunch items that people usually have is a salad. Very simple.
Yep.
Lots of variations of salads, but we won't go into everyone.
Nope.
Anything else? Sandwiches, salads, soup?
So I think that we might have touched on this before, but the most typical lunch sandwich for children in the United States really surprised you when you first heard about it. You were shocked. You didn't understand.
Well, I also remember we were in a car and you said PB&J and I said, what's that? And you couldn't believe it.
I know.
And you were with a friend.
Yeah.
Won't say names, but, you know, with a friend. And she just couldn't believe it either. And you gave me clues and I finally got it.
Yeah.
So PB&J. It's a little quiz time. Do you know what that means? It's peanut butter and jelly. The average American eats 1,500 PB&J sandwiches by the time they're 18. The average American. And so there are certain Americans who don't eat those, which means that some Americans probably eat 5,000 of them.
That's usually how averages work.
Is that possible? 3,000 would be 10 years.
Wow. That seems high.
3,600. I know. That's my point.
Where are you getting this statistic?
Wikipedia. Okay. I will fact check this. Which means I'll make sure this is true. But I'm sure I read it. So I'll leave a pinned comment with a link to the source. But it's astonishing if true.
If true. To me, that is what kids eat
Did you ever have school dinner or school lunches?
Yes.
Were they any good?
No, not great.
No.
They tend to be really full of like carbs, like pasta. Usually there's just something a little bit unappetizing about them.
Yeah. People just used to get pizza and fries.
Yeah.
Or hot dogs. That was it, really.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I did it a little bit when I first, Carl and I used to do it at the end of primary school, 10, 11. And then I did it at the start of high school, which is 11, 12. And I remember they had salad bars and stuff like that, and I can't remember what I got. But mainly, my parents packed me sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So used to have sandwiches. I just want to ask you a quick question before we talk about dinners and restaurants. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, man. I kind of thought that this question might be coming. And can I cheat? Can I say Indian buffet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite
that's
thing ever.
Right, I won't cheat.
And
I'll say probably a chili.
A chili?
Yeah, I could just eat chili all day, every day.
Do you like it spicy or not so spicy? So chili with beans or without beans?
Without beans.
Without beans, but with like ground beef, tomato sauce, chili
mushrooms, probably.
seasoning, mushrooms. Okay.
Chili seasoning, like a tomato sauce, tomato paste, and then maybe a bit like Worcestershire sauce. I made a video on that. Yeah, that's what I make. But an Indian buffet, we love a good Indian buffet.
Yeah.
Even an average one.
Yeah. I love curry.
Yeah.
I love spicy curry.
Yeah.
I love a variety of curry. And it's a lot of Indian restaurants during the lunch hour, they'll have an open buffet where you can just get a variety of different things and then come back. And I like it because you get to go and figure out which are your favorites, and then you get to go back and have more.
You're a 2-plater. I'm a 3-plater.
Yeah. I occasionally am a 3-plater too. Or,
That's usually dessert.
Yeah.
Dinner. I'm going to start by saying a traditional dinner in England is the Sunday roast.
Yes.
And I grew up having a Sunday roast every Sunday. And people like to bash or say that the UK food is terrible. I think it is so good.
Yeah.
It is excellent. Like the home cooking, the shepherd's pies, the hot pots. A lot of traditional dinners in the UK will be a meat and 2 veg. And that's pretty standard for every day of the week. But then on Sunday, things get extra special because you get roasted potatoes, a roasted beef or lamb or turkey, usually carrots or parsnips, a Yorkshire pudding, and gravy. It's just such a good meal.
Yeah.
Such a good meal. So that is very traditional on a Sunday. And normally it's any time between 12 and 6 you have it. But you don't really stick to the traditional times. So you might have it at 4 o'clock instead. I know.
Yeah.
So, and another thing is dinner in the UK is usually around 6.
That seems pretty comparable. I would say that, so everyone talks about Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
And what I realized, the more time that we spent around family and friends from the UK, is that you kind of have like a small version of Thanksgiving dinner every week.
Yeah.
That's the Sunday roast.
It's the king of dinners.
Yeah.
It's the best.
We appreciate it too, but it happens once a year and it's a huge production. Everyone gets really stressed about it. And we make a big fuss about it, but you just do it every week.
Yeah.
Pretty
Stressed
much.
about make a big fuss
That's
about
it.
which means like you put a lot of energy and you're making sure it's perfect, right?
Yeah.
To make a fuss about that. That can also mean something else as well. To make a fuss, like to complain.
Oh yeah, that's more of a British expression.
How's it? I don't know what's British and American anymore.
I know we're kind of mixed up actually.
Yeah. And then I think there are other things that the UK and America do. Lasagna. So people make a lasagna at home. Make pizza.
Yep.
If you want to go that direction. What else?
Hamburgers, hot dogs.
Yeah. Stir fries. Chilies. Beef stews. Those types of things.
Yep.
In another lesson, we talked about how the robot vacuum changed our lives, but also the Instant Pot.
Yes. We have a pressure cooker that cooks everything faster.
Yeah.
So
a lot faster.
Yeah, it's really good for recipes that would take like 4 hours or 8 hours to finish cooking.
Like
you
an
can
hour.
cook them in an hour.
And it tastes so much better. I just think the taste of it is excellent.
Yeah, because it puts everything under pressure. And so, as you know, if you are cooking at sea level or if you're cooking at altitude, the pressure affects your cooking time. So the pressure cooker just increases the pressure, so it takes less time to cook things.
Yeah.
But we've really enjoyed it. And it kind of has a cult following.
It does.
So people who like the Instant Pot are like it a lot and try to convince other people to like it. So we've become those people.
Yeah, our neighbour just bought one.
Yeah.
But they see how amazing it is.
Yeah.
It is very good.
It's very
that
good.
and the air fryer. I love the air fryer.
Yeah.
Although it's things are taking up too much space on top. Anyway. So, yeah, we talked about breakfast, talked about lunch mainly, traditional dinners. I just want to talk a little bit about snacks and tea and tea and coffee. The coffee in Spain is unbelievable. It's the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to make that style of coffee as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because we drink coffee, we enjoy it. Why not make it really good? Tell us the best way to make coffee. What machine you need and how to make it. Because it'll be interesting to see people from Brazil, Spain, Italy, Turkey, Russia. Is it known for its coffee?
We'll find out.
Colombia. If you're from Colombia, let us know.
I think so.
Sorry if I've missed any country. Vietnam, I know coffee's big there. So, yeah, we want to know how to make really good coffee. Because I grew up drinking instant coffee. You know, you take it out of the jar, pour it in hot water, and there it is.
My parents had a coffee machine, but we always bought the least expensive kind of coffee. So it wasn't anything fancy.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to drink good coffee. Snacks. What are popular snacks in the US? What would you have?
So there's healthy snacks, and then there's unhealthy snacks.
So healthy, you'd say like fruit.
Fruit.
I mean, we can get into the debate of whether what they call granola bars, those little bars, basically.
Yeah.
If they're good or not. And then something that's very popular here.
Go on.
That we don't have in the UK. Goldfish.
Yeah.
Which are these little mini wheat cheddar cheese crackers. Right?
Yeah. A lot of like cheese, wheat, bread kind of snacks. Potato chips.
Yeah.
Sometimes like peanuts.
But the UK has the best crisp potato chips.
You have really good flavors.
I actually made a video and I ranked the different crisps.
What did you say was number one?
it was everything salt vinegar. Like, I think it was salt vinegar squares. I never released it. I just thought, I'm not going to release this video.
It's a niche audience. People looking for snacks in the UK.
People were all making these tier ranking videos. And I thought, I want to do one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on my computer somewhere.
Who knows? Maybe it's the moment to shine.
Maybe I'll put it on Facebook or something.
We have salt and vinegar flavor, but I don't think it's as popular.
It's getting better, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You seem so proud.
Like,
yeah.
Yes, we're doing better. We have more maybe barbecue flavor things than you do.
Yeah.
So barbecue flavor is a popular flavor. Also, we both have sour cream and onion.
Well, we mainly have cheese and onion.
Or cheese and onion.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little different. Cheese, sour cream. And one flavor that I thought was really strange. I would never have guessed this would be a flavor for
in the
a
UK?
potato chip. Prawn.
Prawn cocktail.
Prawn cocktail.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So it tastes like shrimp. Right? There's like a shrimpy flavor to it.
I guess so.
Yeah, like a prawn flavor.
I always just thought it was more like the prawn cocktail sauce.
Maybe we have very different prawn
We'll look
cocktail
into this.
flavor. Yes, but the idea
They're very
that
good. It's like
that
sweet and...
Yeah, it was very unusual for me.
that was on the top tier.
It was on the top
Yeah,
tier.
Seabrook prawn cocktail.
We need to have like a snack sampling.
We can do that in another lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's enough for snacks. Spain food. It's terrible. I'm joking.
He's joking.
I'm joking. It's very good, isn't it?
So good.
Yeah. And it's part of it is just the way the people eat in Spain, where for breakfast it's very light. And this isn't the same for everyone, but this is my idea. Breakfast is very light, where it's a pastry and a coffee.
Yeah, or like a little tiny biscuit.
Yeah, biscuit. Sorry. But yeah, it's tiny biscuit and then a coffee. And then they don't eat till 2.
Yeah.
And then they have a huge lunch.
Huge lunch.
Or at least
So delicious.
that's popular. We used to share menu of the days.
Yeah. It was too much for us.
Yeah. Do you remember that one time in Cantabria when we went camping? And we were sitting outside and they brought us that bean dish with sausage in it.
Yeah.
And that was a starter.
Yeah.
It was like this big.
It was huge.
And we didn't know if it was like we take a little bit and put it on our plate. But no, that was it.
Yeah.
We got that huge bean dish.
It was delicious. So rich and so filling.
And then popular lunchtime dishes, I guess, are fish, octopus. What else did they have? They had lasagna. I remember eating lasagna.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that as much. Where we were in
Basque
kind
Country.
Not in the Basque Country, but in Valencia, they have paella and different styles of paella, and fideuà.
Oh, is that the noodles?
The noodle one.
Yeah.
Both delicious.
And then it seemed like dinner was a lighter thing.
Yeah, it would have to be after that huge menu.
And then obviously there are tapas. We used to love going to those tapas restaurants.
Yeah.
And then in Bilbao, it was more like little pinchos.
Pinchos, so like usually a slice of bread with some kind of like creation on top, something usually fried or in a sauce.
Sorry, lots of ham.
Lots of ham.
Lots of ham.
Lots of ham.
But when we went back to Spain, the thing I was excited about the most was the coffee.
Yeah.
That's what we...
Such good coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So rich, but also really smooth.
Yeah. Café con leche. That's all we had, really.
Yeah.
Did you put sugar in it?
Yes.
Oh. Do you put sugar in your coffee? I think it's the worst thing to do.
Or the best.
Or the best. Yeah. But just the food there was just phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
It was so good.
And it is it became popular while we were there, but the Mediterranean diet in general is supposed to be really healthy, really varied.
I've got a theory.
Different things.
It's all about omega-3s and not 6s.
And those come
That's
from
his
like
Mediterranean.
seafood and
olives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mediterranean diet it's a good way of eating.
Why don't we make paella
When?
today? Because we were trying to decide what dish to make.
Yeah. Well, you made it a lot in Spain. You made it very well.
Yeah. And one of my students, when I was teaching English, gave me an electric paella maker. It was like a pan that you plugged in, and it just like cooked it perfectly. So it would get a little bit hot and kind of simmer things, and then it would cool down for a while and then go back on. I didn't quite get the hang of it, but we tried a lot.
Well, that is an option. I'll post on Instagram.
Yeah.
What we make.
We'll see.
Yeah. Kate's question.
Ooh. This is a little tricky, but I mean, there's so many options.
I do want to know about coffee.
Yeah. You want to know about coffee?
Like how to make the best coffee.
I would like to know what is a dish that we should try?
Yeah. We might have tried it.
We might have tried it.
We've tried quite a lot.
We have tried quite a lot.
Yeah.
We're adventurous eaters.
Yeah.
You more than me.
Oh, yeah. I could, yeah.
Jack will try anything.
Definitely. Puffin.
Hey, puffin?
Tastes a little bit like squirrel.
All right. Now you're just
joking.
pulling my leg. You're just joking.
Pulling my leg, joking. Yeah. So, go over to my website. You can learn some of the phrases that we have used in this lesson. Again, this is quite an advanced topic, and there'll be a lot of things here, I'm sure, where you thought, I've no idea what that means. But what I recommend you do, go to the website and then watch this video again once you've learned the new vocabulary. So then that's just a great way to, repeat what you have learned. And let's go shopping and decide what we're going to make. Thank you for watching. Like and share the video. Go to the description and leave your comments. What should we try and how do we make coffee? All right, bye-bye for now.